Good morning, grade 8, and today we're going to have a look at percentages. We're going to look at how to calculate a percentage. We're going to look at how to calculate a percentage of an amount, and we're going to have a look at adding and subtracting with a percentage. Let's have a look at calculating a percentage. You receive the following marks for your mathematics and your English cycle tests. Comparing percentages, which subject did you do better in? So there's your English test. You got 26 out of 36. And there's your mathematics test. You got 42 out of 53. So if you had to work out for your English, I know for some of you, you might say, oh, this is so easy, ma'am. But how to convert a fraction to a percentage is you times it with 100. So you're going to say 26 divided by 36 times 100. And I rounded it off to the nearest two decimal place, which you got 72.22%. For your mathematics, you got 42 out of 53. So 42 divided by 53 times 100 equals to 79.25%. So obviously you did better in your maths test. Calculating a percentage of an amount. Number 1, calculate 20% of 550 Rand. Of is a times sign. So 20%, how do you write that up as a fraction? You put it over 100. So 20 over 100 of, which is times 550. So 20 divided by 100 times 550 gives you 110 Rand. Obviously, you just use your calculator, you pop that into your calculator, and you get the answer. For number 2, calculate 36.42% of 3,250. So first, what you're going to do is you're going to write your percentage up as a fraction by putting it over 100. So 36.42 divided with 100 of, which is a times sign, of 3,250 gives you, if you put that into your calculator, 36,42 divided by 100 times 3,250, and that should give you 1,183,65. Number 3, calculate 80.43% of 10,200 Rand. So now we know how to do it. We put that percentage over 100, 80,43 divided by 100 times 10,200 Rand is equal to 8,203 Rand, 86. Please note that in South Africa, I just want to quickly add something here. With our decimal numbers, we separate our whole numbers with our decimal numbers with a comma. I know when you punch it into your calculator, you say point, so 36.42 divided by 100, but in South Africa, we write it up as a comma, as a decimal. In America, I know they do it as a dot or a point, and so they do just a little bit different to us. They will say, let's say that answer 8,203, they will say 0.86. But please note, with us, we say 86. They use the comma to separate their thousands to their hundreds. So they will sometimes write, or they will write 8,203.86. So that means it's just 8,203,86. But we don't do that in South Africa. What you can do, as you can see, is you separate your thousands to your hundreds to make it easier to read your large amount. You make a little space between the 8 and the 2. Okay, so please note, do not make a comma. We see it as 8,203, then we will see it as 8 whole rands, comma, and the decimals. So just something to note, how we do it differently to America. They make a dot, we make a comma to separate our whole numbers to our decimals. Okay, adding with percentages. If I say to you, add 15% to 220 Rand, We don't know what 15% is. 15% is not a value at all. 15% of something, that gives you a value. Like if I say to you, do you want a 1% increase or a 10% increase? You would say, obviously, the 10%, but then I say to you, oh, but the 10% is of 1 Rand and the 1% is of a million Rand. So which one would you choose now? So always remember that a percentage is of something. It's not a value on its own. Okay, so to figure out what is 15%, we want to first work out what is 15% of the 220 Rand. So we're going to work it out as we did in our previous slide. 15 over 100 times 220 Rand gives you 33 Rand. And because they say you have to add it, then you say 220 plus the 33 Rand gives you 253 Rand. Number 2, the cost of a calculator excluding VAT costs 73 Rand 91 cents. Calculate how much it will cost if you add 15% VAT to the amount. So I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago, the percentage of VAT changed from 14% on goods to now 15%. So first, you want to work out what is 15% of 73 Rand 91 cents of that calculator without the VAT. So that would give you 11 Rand 09 cents. That is the VAT on that calculator. So now you need to add it together because you want to include the original price with the VAT price. So 73.91 plus the 11 Rand, 09 cents, that gives you 85 Rand. So the cost of that calculator would be 85 Rand. Okay, subtracting a percentage. Subtract 22% from 150. Again, 22% on its own is not a value. 2% of something, that gives you a value. So 22% of the 150 Rand gives you 33 Rand. Now, very important, just notice you need to minus it. So 150 minus 33 Rand will give you 117 Rand. Number 2, there's a sale on your favorite pair of jeans. The price of the jeans cost 1,350 Rand. Well, the price of the jeans are 1,350 Rand. The sale has a 20% reduction on all the clothing. Calculate how much you will pay for your jeans. So first we need to find out what is the price that you're not going to pay. What amount are you getting for free because of the sale being implemented? So 20% of the 1,350, because you get a 20% reduction, that gives you 270 Rand. 270 Rand that you do not need to pay of that amount. So you take the original price of the jeans, which was 1,350, and you minus the 270 Rand from that to give you that. What are you going to pay for the jeans? It's 1,080. Another way that you could have done this is you can say, well, if I'm not going to pay 20%, what am I indeed going to pay? 80%, and only work out what is 80% of 1,350. If you want to check me, you can do that. 80% of 1,350 should give you the final amount of 1,080 as well. All right, and we've come to the end. I've split these two percentage sections into 2 days. So today we are dealing with the easier type percentages. Tomorrow I'm going to take it up a notch and just explain 2 other different types of percentages that we also work with that I think is very important for you to understand, especially in the real life maths that we deal with from day to day. Okay, so these 6 questions, it should be very easy. It's also included in your to-do list at the bottom of that, and right at the bottom to that, you also get the memo. So please quickly do that, and then you can mark yourself. You must have a wonderful day. Thank you, grade 8s. Bye-bye.